Michael Popak, Legal AF. Donald Trump being convicted means that he loses a lot of rights, licenses, and privileges, like voting rights, like his concealed weapons permit in New York, because the New York Police Department is investigating taking away his weapons permit. Note to self, I didn't know he had weapons and was carrying guns. And now the New Jersey Alcohol Beverage Commission is investigating whether Donald Trump should lose his liquor licenses in 3 golf course locations in New Jersey because convicted felons can't hold liquor licenses. See, this is hitting him where he lives because now he's not going to make any money on the 19th hole in all of his golf courses. What am I talking about? In particular, and I live in New Jersey, so I know a little bit about what I talk about. My family once had a liquor license. The Division of Alcohol Beverage Control is looking into whether Donald Trump now has violated the law, which prohibits a liquor license to anyone who's been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude. A state handbook, as was outlined in an Associated Press article, explains that those sorts of crimes involve dishonesty, fraud, or depravity, severe enough to typically be punishable by more than a year in prison. Well, let's talk about the conviction for effectively business record fraud in furtherance of a second crime and whether that fits the bill for moral turpitude. It does. I can't see an argument, especially since he already got found in a civil setting to have committed the act of fraud, where that in combination with this particular conviction, 34 count by a jury in New York, isn't going to be seriously considered by the Bureau of Alcohol Control in New Jersey about whether they're going to pull the licenses. Now, Trump apparently has his own licenses for 3 golf courses in New Jersey. Or it's an entity. I mean, generally you regulate a person, not an entity when it comes to liquor licenses. So I'm sure Donald Trump is listed as an applicant, or at least as the primary owner of these golf courses. They make a lot of money, as you can imagine, from the 19th hole, the watering hole, selling booze at golf courses. It's probably, other than the fees related to the golf course and things in the golf shop that people want to buy, and all those things, it is the number one way you make revenue in a golf course. You don't want acres and acres of land, with 18 holes in it if you aren't going to just make a lot of money selling side services. I'm not a golfer. It's not that I can't play. It's just I don't find it that interesting. But I have been out on a course, and I do understand in these clubhouses and in restaurants and in luncheonettes and in grills all around golf courses, they make a ton of money from members and guests of members at these golf courses. If he were to lose his liquor license because of the felony conviction, it would be a tremendous hit to the profitability and viability of running these golf courses. Now, what could he do? Could he transfer the licenses to another entity and to another licensee? Sure. I mean, I've been involved on the law side in regulated industries, gaming, casinos, in this case, alcohol and beverage. And sure, there is an ability, if it's a legitimate transfer and not a straw man transfer, where the entity that is owning the liquor license has no real ownership interest, or Trump has no real ownership interest in it. I mean, could he be a silent minority owner in it? Maybe, but you generally, as I said before, you need individual people, human beings, to be licensees under this under the laws of these that regulate these types of industries. So if somebody else steps in, I don't know, one of the kids that wasn't convicted for Donald Trump, or some other outsider, let him do it. There's going to have to be an investigation about the relationship between Donald Trump and that particular person. And if it's too strong of a relationship, then it's just going to be seen as a sham or a fraud, and they're not going to allow it either. It's a real problem. For those people out there at these rallies that are leaving early in Nevada or passing out from the heat, and Donald Trump commenting he doesn't really care about them, just about their votes, they might not think that there's real world consequences to the conviction. I mean, I saw polling that 55% of Trump supporters didn't even think there'd be a conviction because they so believed the hopium that was being peddled by Donald Trump and his followers, except they left out the fact that there was real trial, real evidence, real testimony, real jurors, and a real deliberation leading to a real conviction. But put that aside for a minute. These same people have not thought through what it means for Donald Trump to be a convicted felon. His inability to travel overseas, for instance. Not that he liked going overseas, except when he opened up golf courses in Scotland and things. He's notoriously somebody that hated travel. He was not a world traveler. This Trump jet of his, Air Force Trump or whatever it's called, Air Trump, it rarely left the United States. He doesn't like foreign travel. He, as you can see, he doesn't go to like the Caribbean or Hawaii even in the United States or Puerto Rico. He stays at all of his golf courses, you know, and that's because he's a notorious germaphobe, doesn't like travel. He's one of the most intellectually uninterested and uninteresting presidents we've ever had. And so, but if he's a president, you'd think he'd have to do some foreign travel. He may not be able to as a felon. Voting. He'll have been convicted, adjudged a convicted felon by July the 11th in New York when the sentencing happens. At that time, he's a felon. He's not, the governor of New York, Governor Hochul, is not going to expunge his conviction or pardon him. So for the purposes of the actual voting on November the 5th, he is a felon who cannot vote. Life insurance gives me peace of mind, especially when so much of what happens in life is unpredictable. But a good life insurance plan gives your family a financial safety net to protect against some of the unknowns. Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. It makes choosing the right policy for your family easy and quick. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options are 100% online and let you avoid unnecessary medical exams. As you know by now, I'm a dad-to-be in about a month, and I can't even begin to explain how much better I feel knowing that if something were to happen to me, the ones I love most would be taken care of. Policy Genius helps you easily compare your options from America's top insurers in just a few clicks. Their award-winning agents can even walk you through the process step by step. Your work life insurance policy may not offer enough protection for your family's needs. Even worse, it may not come with you if you leave your job. Policy Genius has no incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance. They have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found the best fit for their needs. Get peace of mind by finding the right life insurance with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/legalaf or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/legalaf. Now, could DeSantis, the governor of Florida, and the legislature there do something to expunge him, particularly the Donald Trump Voting Rights Act bill, and get it passed? Probably. But there is that implication. There is the fact that he has licenses that require him not to be a felon, even if it's not one involving a violent crime. And that puts his gun licenses in jeopardy. And that puts his, as I've just outlined, his 3 liquor licenses in jeopardy in New Jersey. Look, we're going to report on all of this stuff and think through the ramifications. I mean, Ben Meiselas, my colleague on Legal AF, did a great hot take about whether Donald Trump is allowed under the Constitution to serve as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces as a felon. I mean, the reality is our founding fathers never anticipated a criminal president or a criminal as president, or that a party, one of the 2 major parties, the only 2 major parties in our system of government, would be co-opted by a criminal element. They never anticipated that. So what we're seeing now is the scramble by state and local and federal institutions to try to control an out-of-control Donald Trump and the reign of terror that he had already unleashed, and one that he's threatening to unleash again if he ever gets back into office. But we will continue to check off on hot takes like this one all the ways that felon Donald Trump, convicted felon Donald Trump, has lost licenses and permissions to do business and things like that because of a requirement that he not be a felon. I mean, there's other things too. I'm sure as a personal guarantor, as a personal guarantor in his bank loans, there is a condition that he not be convicted of a felony related to moral turpitude, just like in New Jersey. That could accelerate the loans and make them come due now, right at the moment when he doesn't have any money because he can't sell his stock in Trump Media Technology Group until September. So this implication, which is I'm focused on the hot take of what happens off the felony conviction in terms of his personal guarantees and his bank loans, what happens with his liquor license, what happens with his voting rights, what happens with his ability to have a concealed weapons permit are important. We bring it to you right here on Legal AF on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on any audio podcast platform of your choice. I do hot takes like this about every day at the intersection of law and politics. If you like what I'm doing, I'm Michael Popok. Leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, open a dialogue with me. It helps with the ratings. It's not ego, it's algorithm. If you want me to stay on the air, that's a way to do it. And then you can go over to the YouTube channel for MeidasTouch. Free subscribe, help them get to 3 million. We don't have outside investors. This is us. We're building this network with our bare hands and with your help. Look up Michael Popok under contributors or playlists, and there's my entire body of work. So until my next Legal AF, Wednesdays and Saturdays, until my next hot take, probably in the next hour or so, until my next posting somewhere on social media related to law and politics. This is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know, and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.